mute my mic. Thank you, Ion. We'll put a pause on you, see if we get the comments up and rolling here. Change computers. Wait a minute. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Instagram. And I think I need to look over here and go live on Instagram. That's what I needed to do. There we are, live on Instagram as well. Okay, I'm glad I did not mess that up. I missed last week. It's August 1st, 2025. I missed last week. I was on a golf trip. Played with some university guys. There were 16 guys there from, my God, 30 years ago or longer. Anyways, so that was kind of fun. I played 4 rounds in 5 days. Now my back is completely jacked up, and here we are in the summer holidays. And who do we expect? Who do we expect to join us live here on the Sinclair Range review show for the week on a Friday afternoon of an August long weekend? Not very many people. Hopefully nobody. You're crazy if you do, but let's get this done anyways. I think that's enough time for people to hit on the link. Let's get started. Welcome to a week in review at Sinclair Range. My name is Scott Sinclair. I'm a founder, president, owner of Sinclair Range. And the mission here on this show is to give you some insight into what's going on at Sinclair Range. It's your window, I hope, into real world deals, decisions, day-to-day business adventures. And we have our 4 regular segments: lessons learned of the week, interesting file or deal or happening of the week, struggles of the week, Scott's observation of the week. And that's it. Hopefully we're in and out of here. Normally we're 20 minutes, half an hour. We might even be shorter today, maybe 15 minutes. It is summer. And honestly, I've been away a couple of weeks and took a few days off in addition to the golf trip. And so I'm not up to speed. Just making sure everything's good over here. Check out the Instagram side. Yeah, we're all good. Sorry, just bear with me here. There we go. Working multiple computers at the same time. All right, let's dive in. Lessons learned for the week. This is actually not from last week or two. This is from 3 weeks ago, but it didn't make the show. But I've been thinking about it, and I think it needs to be said. Why, I ask you, do we prepare financial models? You know, if you listen to my content, I'm always talking about 13-week cash flows, rolling monthly financial models as really the heart of your business plan, expressed in numbers. If you're trying to affect change, if you're trying to do a financing, if you're doing an M&A deal, if you're doing a restructuring, no matter what you're doing, you need to have projections to go along with that. And there's a proper model format and structure to do that in. Let's focus on that rolling monthly financial model. And you go back in my comment, you can see what that's all about. I won't get into it today, but why do we do these projections? Is it because we can see in the future and we can convince a user of the model that, hey, these are our projections. That's what's going to happen. I had that very discussion this morning. Oh, the numbers don't make sense, or they're not realistic. It's not that they don't make sense. It's like, that's the wrong conversation. The conversation is, our business plan is to do these 3, 4, 5 things. And if we achieve these results, these are the numbers, right? That's what they are. It's not the other way around. It's not, we plan to go from 0 to 100 and then we need to debate about whether that's true or not. Anyways, it's not, we don't prepare this model because we can see into the future and because the projections are going to be accurate. No, there's 2 reasons we prepare a financial model. Number one, the very first reason is it forces us as a preparer, as a management team, and as an investment banker, as an analyst, it forces us to consider what this business is about and the key performance indicators that drive success, defined by profitability, defined by cash flow. Okay, so think about that, the key performance indicators. And what I mean by that is the key assumptions. There's 100 assumptions or more, literally, in every financial model that drive profitability and cash flow, but there's always 3 to 5 really important assumptions that profitability and cash flow are most sensitive to. And so that's what you're trying to identify when you build these sorts of models. And by going through that process, it forces you to take the preparer and the management team to take a position on those assumptions. For example, we're going to do so much revenue in 3 months, and our contribution margin, say direct materials to revenue expressed as a percentage, is going to grow to X percent. And our turnaround, if that's what we're doing, is based on a recovery, an improvement on our contribution margin. And so there it is over the period of this turnaround, let's say quarterly for the next 4 quarters. And if we hit that target of X percent contribution margin, oh, look at that. Our profitability and our cash flow turn really good. And so what you've done and what you're forced to do as a preparer is to identify those really sensitive, important key assumptions, key performance indicators, and to take a position on those. And that's your plan. Your plan in the particular hypothetical example was, which is, not all that hypothetical many times, it's the reality, is we need to improve our margins. And the second reason we build a financial model is to communicate to stakeholders, to users of the model, whether that be your lender or an investor, anybody that's interested in this deal, to communicate to them what those key assumptions are, and then to monitor them over time. Oh, look, we're not succeeding on getting to where our contribution margin needs to be. That's not going to be good. We could do that sensitivity in the model we built. Okay, so that's why we're doing models. And number one, you identify and take a position on the key assumptions, the key performance indicators that drive profitability and cash flow. And number two, you communicate same to third parties, to even internally to your management team. Here's the hurdles we need to hit, but also to your investors, to your lenders, to everybody, right? And so that's why we do that. And what we should not be doing is preparing a model ever that shows that our business does not work, that it runs out of money. This is where I was getting to with all of this, the preamble. You cannot show a model internally or externally that shows you're running out of money, that turns negative. But Scott, that's the reality. We'll never meet these assumptions which make our business work. Well, that's not a plan. Your plan is not to run out of money. Your plan is not to do something negative and to go out of business. Your model, if you're an investment bank, you're an analyst, someone new at this, your model is not finished if it shows that you go bankrupt. You need to change your assumptions, those key assumptions, to make the damn thing work. But then, and you don't need to be delusional about it, but you need to say, hey, for this business to work, here's the math. Our assumptions need to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, and you need to document those, and you need to communicate those to your team and to the third party. You need to say, hey, this is what we need to do to make this thing work. And it might be high risk. Maybe we don't accomplish that at all, but this is what we need to focus on. This is the plan. Okay, so the right answer is not to show a negative model ever. You have not done your job if you're showing a negative model. Thanks for joining us, all you people on the live stream. Diana Speaks for You on Instagram. Welcome to the show. Everybody should reach out and say hello if they want to do comments on this. We have a beta where it's supposed to show up the comments on the screen, and I don't think that's working at all. So I'm going to turn that function off. Anyways, identify those key assumptions, make the model work. That's your job. Remember, models are the math of your plan. Your plan is not to go bankrupt. Your plan is to do something that actually works. And by work, I mean you're profitable and you have cash flow. So work on that, get those assumptions right. Remember, there's always 3 to 5 key assumptions which make your deal work. So that's my lesson, my thought for the week or the past few weeks. Just a reminder of things that I've already talked about many times on my content. Interesting deal file for the week. This is not really a file or a deal. As I told you, we're in the dog days of summer here. I'm not saying we're slow, we're swamped. I'm just saying I was away. But I did spend some time this week on the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle, which is now scheduled to start August 12th. What is the Inner Circle? The Inner Circle Deals and Capital. I've read this to you before. I told you about it on prior episodes. If you're raising capital, if you're structuring deals, if you're navigating a tough business challenge, this is for you. The Inner Circle is a free, private, live Zoom community, virtual community for founders, executives, advisors, for us to come together every 2 weeks and to pitch and share challenges, get feedback, and sharpen our strategies, ask questions, see if we can get our deals done or improved. It's just real people working on real deals and getting better. Bring your questions. Send us materials in advance. Bottom line is I will be available to you in a community forum for 1 hour. Every other Tuesday is where we're going to start. And we shall see how this goes. So the very first Inner Circle meeting is August 12th. So when is that? That's a week from next Tuesday. And then we're going to do it every other Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Some of you have registered and signed up already. There'll be lots of reminders, but you can reach out, whatever you're listening to this on, reach out in the notes and join our community, completely free. And all we ask is that you show up and you take it seriously. And the goals of this are to build a community around deals and doing better business, education, specific deal review, planning review, deal pitching. Come and join us. All right, struggles of the week. I don't know. My biggest struggle for the week personally is just that it's summer and it's impossible to try and get things done. And then you think, damn, everybody's away and they're out in the sunshine. And then you go out in the sunshine and then it's hard to get your mind back. People are gone. Rule of thumb I've always had is you can close a deal in July and August. Like, let's say you started a deal in April, May, whatever. You can close in July and August. But it's hard. It's hard to launch a deal in July and August. Nobody cares. Nobody's around. You just, deals, as we've talked about so many times before, are about momentum. And it's just hard to build and gain momentum during this time. Also, a reminder, struggle for the week, a reminder on many fronts. And I'm seeing this many fronts from the last 2 weeks, that you have to have your ducks in a row for a closing. And what does ducks in the row mean? Corporate filings, that's a big one. So we have taken over a handful of U.S. companies, each of which don't really have operations, but they hold assets. And these companies that we took over in part of a cleanup, wind up, whatever you want to call it, we're selling off assets. But I had a closing maybe 10 days ago now, and the corporate body never filed a tax return. It doesn't have a TIN, a tax identification number in the U.S., or an EIN, an employer identification number in the U.S., doesn't have a bank account. And therefore, I'm trying to direct funds elsewhere, and this becomes a money laundering issue. You got to fill out all sorts of forms. It is a pain in the ass. It took me days to get through all of this, and we didn't even get through it all without. It doesn't help that I'm I also personally don't have a U.S. TIN, although I've applied for one now, but I haven't needed one in the past. And so anyways, that became a real issue that took days and days. And as we're selling assets, it just becomes an administrative nightmare. You're having your housekeeping in order is critical to closing deals and not losing momentum. And financial statements. I've been dealing with multiple issues on companies that cannot deliver a financial statement. I remind you, if you can't report, you can't close. Bottom line, if you can't report, you can't close. As a reminder, Sinclair Range offers virtual fractional controllership bookkeeping services geared largely to lower mid-market and smaller businesses. It is economical. You get some of my time and others in my firm that are CPAs as your controller, as a coach. There's lots of bells and whistles that go with this, and it's a it's a great way to get proper reporting, because if you can't report, you can't close. And when you're going to close, it's too late. It's too late. You need to do this beforehand. Where are we? 16 minutes here. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's summer. It's going to be short this week. Life is, and by the way, speaking of short, my musings for the week: life is short. Life is short. Enjoy yourself at all times. We had a death in our community in the last week or two. Not someone immediate at SRI, but a family member of someone at SRI that just seemed far too young. I don't know the details of the situation. In any event, I'm going to keep it private, but it's very sad. And it's a reminder, life is short. And you know who we are. We love you. We're thinking of you. Take your time. Let's wrap this up. Thanks for listening. Hey, there's been fantastic comments on this show and engagement. I'm really, really happy with this. Thanks for all the kind words. Keep reaching out. We've got a bunch of people live here, which really surprises me. Just go enjoy your summer. It's a August long weekend. And if you're a company that's going through a transition, reach out. We exist to help you to navigate high growth, navigate financial distress, help you do your deals. Reach out to us. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.